everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English, and I'm Karen.
And I'm Matt. And today we're looking at part 2 of the world's slowest flowering plants.
That's right. And then, in part 1 we learned about, some fascinating flowers that are giant and it takes years and years to bloom. But, I do love flowers. But the flowers we often see, from day to day, are some common ones like roses or sunflowers, daisies. I really like roses. All girls like roses. Do you like roses?
I don't. Flowers don't do much for me. They're pretty to look at. I actually don't really like the smell of flowers. I think
you don't like the smell of flowers?
I don't no. If a smell in a room, if I go up close to smell a flower, I don't like that smell.
Really? Because usually they smell really good, right?
That's what people keep telling me. But
But I think it's really, really interesting how, if you send different colors of roses to people, it has different meanings. So for example, if you send somebody a yellow rose, it means what does that mean?
I think it means friendship. So you could give yellow roses to your friends, or if you don't want to, send too strong of a message to someone, you can give them a yellow rose.
That's right.
Because red roses means
love, of course.
Right.
And then if you send a girl red roses, it probably means that you love them, right?
Yeah. So you got to be careful who you send red roses to.
Well, if you really love the girl, then you can, right? Have you ever sent anybody, red roses?
Yeah, I have, She broke my heart.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Okay, but different roses have different meanings, and I really do like learning about flowers. But we are going to learn about the world's slowest flowering plants. We're going to learn more today.
Okay, I look forward to learning more about the slowest flowering plants.
All right.
Sheep-eating plant. Found in the deserts of Chile, this plant has long, sharp spines that are used for trapping small animals. After being trapped, the animals eventually starve to death, and their bodies provide the nutrients the plant needs to bloom, which happens just once every 15 to 20 years. Talipot palm. This palm tree, one of the world's tallest, can reach 25 meters in height. Its giant leaves are used as everything from umbrellas to notepads. When it's 30 to 80 years old, it produces a spectacular number of blossoms, which unfortunately signals its coming death.
So we're looking at part 2 of the world's slowest flowering plants, right?
Yeah, and we've learned about a couple of these slow flowering plants so far. One that blooms every 4 to 7 years and makes pretty white flowers, and another that blooms every 10 years and makes a huge smelly flower.
That's right. So we're going to learn about other, interesting flowers today. And the first one we're going to talk about is called the sheep-eating plant. Listen to the sound of that. The sheep-eating plant. Okay, so found in the deserts of Chile. This plant has long, sharp spines that are used for trapping small animals. For trapping small animals? So trapping somebody or trapping animals means that once they're being trapped or captured, then they cannot leave, they cannot go. So they are trapped in this place. After being trapped, the animals eventually starve to death. And their bodies provide the nutrients the plant needs to bloom, which happens just once every 15 to 20 years. Oh wow, this flower sounds like such a scary flower.
It does sound like a scary flower because these animals starve to death, so they die because they don't have enough nutrients to stay alive. And then their bodies give the nutrients to the plants.
Exactly, and then it will grow, but it takes about 15 to 20 years to bloom.
So these animals eventually starve to death when they are trapped inside the plant. And so eventually meaning in the end, or finally, or at the end of something challenging or that was hard to do. So I'm assuming these animals are trying to escape, so they're struggling to get out. So for example, Randy struggled with the math homework, but he eventually completed it. So in the end, he finished it.
That's right. It took some time, but eventually he did it, right?
So that was a very interesting plant. And let's learn about another one, Talipot palm. This palm tree, one of the world's tallest, can reach 25 meters in height. Its giant leaves are used as everything from umbrellas to notepads.
Its giant leaves are used as everything from umbrellas to notepads. Wow.
So just hold up a big leaf.
And then you can use it as an umbrella?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so when it's 30 to 80 years old, it produces a spectacular number of blossoms, which unfortunately signals its coming death. Unfortunately signals its coming death. So once you see that, that means it's a sign that it's going to die soon, right? So unfortunately is our next vocabulary word, and that is an adverb. Basically, it's used when something sad or bad is about to happen, right? So for example, unfortunately, Gabby couldn't come to the party. So, sadly, he wasn't able to attend to the party, right?
So unfortunately means that we hoped he could and then unfortunately couldn't come to the party.
That's right.
Bad thing.
And the opposite of unfortunately is fortunately, right? If something good that's going to happen, then you can say, fortunately, I was able to come.
Right. So unfortunately, it's time for a break, but fortunately, we'll see you after the break.
That's right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课文介绍了喜马拉雅大百合，它要4到7个夏天才会开花，然后还有介绍到诗花，它又称为巨花魔芋，这则是要10年才会开花。那第3个要介绍的则是食杨树，听起来是会吃羊的树。那它正式的名称其实是智利普亚凤梨。这种植物是生长在智利的沙漠中，那它有长长又锐利的刺，用来诱捕小动物。当这个动物受困的时候呢，它最终就会饿死。那动物的尸体就会提供这种植物开花所需要的养分。好，那这种植物它是每15到20年开一次花。我们补充一下 ，Chile 就表示南美洲国家智利这个国家。好，那么单字 eventually 它是副词，表示最后、结果或者是最终怎么样啊，终于怎么样。再来下一个登场的是贝叶棕，这种棕榈树呢是世界上最高的树之一，高度可以达到25公尺哎。那它巨大的叶子被用来当做各种用品，从雨伞啊到记事本，应有尽有。那么树龄大概是在30到80岁的时候会开出数量惊人的花朵。不过遗憾的是，这也意味着它即将死亡了。我们来看看单字 unfortunately， 这个副词就可以表达不幸地或者是遗憾的事。它的相反词我们就拿掉 un 这个字首，变成 fortunately， 那就表示幸好啊、幸亏或者是幸运地。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 after 当连接词，表示在点点点之后。那它所引导的副词子句跟主要子句两者的主词相同时呢，其实 after 后面这个主词就可以省略，然后把动词改成动词 ing 的形式。以句型来看，假设我们原本句型写作 after 主词加动词，逗号主词加动词。假设前后子句主词相同，那就可以简化成 after 动词 ing， 逗号主词加动词。例如 After he graduated from college, he and his family moved to Canada. 那你可以把它简化成 After graduating from college, he and his family moved to Canada. 大学毕业后，他和他的家人搬到加拿大。好，接着回课文中。
Queen of the Andes. According to Guinness World Records, the Queen of the Andes is the slowest blooming plant in the world, taking up to 150 years to produce its flowers. It also holds the record for being the largest bromeliad, a family of plants that includes the pineapple, with a height of up to 15 meters. All of these plants are enormous, and many live in places where nutrients are scarce. This is probably why they take so long to show off their beautiful flowers. If you ever get the chance to see one in bloom, take it. You might never witness it again.
Welcome back. We're continuing to learn about the world's slowest flowering plants. So in the last part, we learned about the sheep-eating plant, which takes 15 to 20 years to bloom, and it does so by trapping animals and letting them starve to death and taking their nutrients.
It's so scary.
Right.
I would never want to be around that kind of plant.
And we also learned about the talipot palm, which is a palm tree which takes 30 to 80 years to bloom. And when it does bloom, it means that it's going to die soon.
That's right. And right now, after the break, we'll be learning about, other interesting flowers and plants. So right now we're talking about Queen of the Andes. So what are they? According to Guinness World Records, the Queen of the Andes is the slowest blooming plant in the world, taking up to 150 years to produce its flowers. Wow. So this is the slowest blooming flower, right? So it takes about 150 years.
So we have a winner.
That's
It
right.
wins the slowest blooming flower contest.
Exactly. We know 4 to 7 years or, 10 to 15 or 15 to 20, but this is 150 years. Well, that's crazy.
It also holds the record for being the largest bromeliad, a family of plants that includes the pineapple, with a height of up to 15 meters.
15 meters? That's really, really, really tall, right?
Do you think it makes extra large pineapples?
Maybe. I have no idea. Okay, and all of these plants that we learned about today, so all of these plants are enormous. So when you describe something as enormous, that means they are very, very big in size or sometimes in amount. Okay, and many live in places where nutrients are scarce. And like we mentioned before, this type of plant is enormous. Enormous, like we said, it's really, really big, giant, super large. And that is an adjective. So in our example sentence, it says, this hamburger is enormous. So I don't think I'll be able to finish it by myself. And that is not true for me because I can finish big hamburgers.
So these plants grow in places where nutrients are scarce. So scarce means rare or hard to find. It means there's not much of it around. If something is scarce, there's not any of it there, so there's not any nutrients. So for example, water is scarce in the desert. So a desert is a desert because there's little or no water, so water is hard to find. And because these nutrients are scarce, that's probably why these flowers take so long to bloom, because it takes a lot of nutrients for the plants to be able to make flowers.
That's right.
This is probably why they take so long to show off their beautiful flowers. If you ever get the chance to see one in bloom, take it. You might never witness it again.
That's true. But it takes 150 years to bloom, right? So if you ever have a chance to witness it, then you should definitely take it. So, to witness, that is a verb. To witness basically just means to see something happen, right? So, for example, no one witnessed the accident in person, but it was caught on film. That means no one saw it. No one was actually, there to see the whole accident. But it was caught on film. Someone probably videotaped it, someone filmed it, so it was caught on film.
Okay, so they did get to see it. So, Karen, let me ask you, what do you think? Which plant is the most interesting to you and why?
Okay, if you're just talking about which one is the most interesting one, I would say the sheep-eating plant is the most interesting one. I mean, that's not my favorite, but it's the most interesting one because it traps these small animals, and then the animals will be starved to death, and then it will get the nutrients from the animals so it can grow. And that's kind of
Well, I think it
scary.
certainly has the most interesting name as well, the sheep-eating plant. I think it's funny to name something after what they eat. Like maybe if I have a pet cat, I can call it the cat food eating cat.
Maybe. But how about you, though? Of all the plants and flowers that we learn in, our articles, which one do you find the most interesting and why?
I actually think that my favorite was the most interesting to me was the corpse flower.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's interesting that instead of where most flowers, people think they smell beautiful, the corpse flower is the opposite and it smells disgusting.
Exactly. There's so many different, kind of flowers out there. Some are really beautiful, some are really interesting, and these are definitely very, very unique, right? Okay, well, this is all the time we have for today. And I guess, I am pretty interested now. I want to go online and learn more about flowers.
Yeah, me too, and I guess you can do the same. So
That's
we'll
right.
see you next time. Goodbye.
See you next time.
下一个要介绍的是安第斯皇后。那这种植物它正式的名称是窝氏普亚凤梨。那根据金氏世界纪录的记载，安第斯皇后是世界上开花最慢的植物，长达150年才会开花哎。那它也是最大的凤梨科植物，高达15公尺。好，文中它用到 bromeliad 这个名词是指凤梨科植物，而课文最后就写到啊，这些植物都很巨大，而且很多都是生长在养分不足的地方。也许呢，这就是它们需要花这么长的时间才能开出美丽花朵的原因。如果同学们下次有机会看到其中一种开花，你一定要好好把握机会哦，不然可能就无法再看到了。好，我们来看单字 enormous， 它就是形容巨大的、极大的。那么 scarce 是形容不足的、缺乏的或是罕见的。那我们补充它的名词是去掉 e 再加上 ity 变成 scarcity， 那就表示缺乏或是不足。再来看到 witness， 它当动词表示目击、目睹或者是见证，那也可以当名词来表达目击者或者是见证人。好，这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 according to 加名词的不同意思。那第一种呢，可以表达根据什么所说，依照什么所记载，说明消息或者是资讯的来源。例如 according to the article, teenagers should get 9 to 10 hours of sleep.per night， 根据那篇文章，青少年每晚需要9到10个小时的睡眠。好，那第二个用法，你可以用 according to 加名词，表达说根据啊，按照可能某个规则、某个规定、原则等等。举例来说 ，Jack put the toy together according to the directions on the box。Jack 他按照盒子上的说明，把玩具组装起来。好，那第二个重点是 where 当关系副词呢，就相当于介系词加上 which， 可以引导形容词子句去修饰或者是补述说明，表示地方的先行词。那我们以下介绍两种用法。第一种是当你的先行词是不明确的地点时，我们要去限定它的范围哦，所以要用限定用法 ，where 的前面不需要加逗号。例如 ，The bear was trapped in a cage where it could barely move。那只熊被困在一个它几乎无法动弹的笼子里。那第二个用法是，当先行词是特定或明确的地点时，那就不用限定它的范围啦，所以是用非限定用法。这时候 where 的前面必须加上逗号。例如 ，Last year she returned to Okinawa, where she was born and brought up。去年他回到冲绳，那是他出生长大的地方。那冲绳是一个明确特定的地点，所以呢，我们后面那句是补充说明，要用逗号隔开。那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Sheep-eating plant. Found in the deserts of Chile, this plant has long, sharp spines that are used for trapping small animals. After being trapped, the animals eventually starve to death, and their bodies provide the nutrients the plant needs to bloom, which happens just once every 15 to 20 years. Talipot palm. This palm tree, one of the world's tallest, can reach 25 meters in height. Its giant leaves are used as everything from umbrellas to notepads. When it's 30 to 80 years old, it produces a spectacular number of blossoms, which unfortunately signals its coming death. Queen of the Andes. According to Guinness World Records, the Queen of the Andes is the slowest blooming plant in the world, taking up to 150 years to produce its flowers. It also holds the record for being the largest bromeliad, a family of plants that includes the pineapple, with a height of up to 15 meters. All of these plants are enormous, and many live in places where nutrients are scarce. This is probably why they take so long to show off their beautiful flowers. If you ever get the chance to see one in bloom, take it. You might never witness it again.
Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Kiki.
And we are playing Guess the Bear. We each have 3 cards with sentences on them, and a word or phrase has been replaced by the word bear. And we each have 1 minute to guess the bear. Kiki, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's get a minute on the clock. All right, your first word is a verb. It's 1 word. Several people bared the car accident. He bared many people stealing from the store.
Witness.
Yes. All right, adjective, 1 word. Australia has bare areas that are deserted. I paid an bare amount of money for the computer.
Large.
Close.
A lot. No, that's not. Big. No. Okay, pass.
Okay, we'll come back to it. All right, last one, adverb, 1 word. I got lost, but I did find my way bare. Don't worry, the cat will return home bare.
The first sentence, please.
I got lost, but I did find my way bare.
And then the second one.
Don't worry, the cat will return home bare.
Soon? No. Ah, that was hard.
Eventually.
Oh.
I got lost, but I did find my way eventually. Don't worry, the cat will return home eventually. And the other one, the adjective, enormous.
Enormous.
Australia has enormous areas that are deserted. I paid an enormous amount of money for the computer.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Your turn,
Okay.
Carolyn. Okay. 1 minute on the clock. Adjective, 1 word.
Okay.
Resources on the island are bare and difficult to obtain. During the winter, food is bare for the animals.
Scarce?
Very good. Adverb, 1 word. Bare, we can't offer you the job at this time. He won't be able to attend bare.
Unfortunately?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Phrase, 2 words. Bear reports the snow will be at least 10 inches deep. The road will be closed for a week. Bear, the government.
The first sentence again?
Bear reports the snow will be at least 10 inches deep. The road will be closed for a week. Bear, the government.
According to?
Very good.
I got it.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. And yes, the adverb that we had was, unfortunately, we cannot offer you the job at this time. Mine was pretty hard. You were really good at guessing.